How many of you feel like you're leading a spiritual life? Fewer hands now than February. Yeah, at least Zoom gives me some reassurance. What is the determinant of leading a spiritual life? That was the title of the video. The title of the video was that the only determinant is whether we intend to spend the day with God or not. Basically, how much time we want to spend with God is the determinant of that. But what is enough spirituality? That at least in our intention, we intend to spend the whole day with God, no matter what is happening in the world around us. In our intention, what we want to do is offer this day to God or belong to God in that way, in that day. So, don't most of us feel that we want to belong to God every day or be with God every day? That is, we are intending at least to lead a spiritual life. Maybe when we are not raising our hands, we mean that our intent, there's a gap between our intention and the actual outcome. So, is the gap based on lack of access to how to do it? That is one topic we've dealt with for 13, 14 years now, where every tool that I have come across, I have shared with all of you, and the tools to do it have been made available. Does any tool ever give us the guarantee that if I just say, who am I, or Ram Ram, then his presence will be made available to us automatically? No tool can give us that guarantee because ultimately it is a question of his grace. So, in this, what I've been calling a collaborative project, because otherwise we just say if it is his grace, then I just neglect this relationship fully. So, we have to uh, water and nurture this relationship with every ingredient. And one day when love sprouts, then love sprouts. So you can't force love, isn't it? So, but we have to nurture it. So in India, we can take the example of an arranged marriage. This is like an arranged marriage where uh, it may sound strange in the West, but in many, many situations, in most situations, couples are made to get married first, and then they are advised from both sets of parents and families that don't worry, get married, then love will happen. So, in a way, the spiritual path, strangely, is like an Indian arranged marriage, where uh, in most cases it may be that I don't yet feel his love, or I don't yet feel like I am completely in love with him or her, whichever way we want to look at it. And we may be looking at a solution to the misery or the suffering in our life. And we have been told by people, all the people on the wall, with pictures on the wall, and so many thousands, that the only way to be free from suffering in this life is to turn towards God. So many of us, including this one, started the spiritual journey in that way, wanting to be free from suffering. Now, others may start with the quest for knowledge, and others may be where they start to feel some love for God and they want to deepen in that. So, in many ways, it is like that arranged marriage where you get married first to the path and then you hope to fall in love. And what is the way to fall in love? You have got an arranged marriage and then both of you move to different cities. You see, and no long distance communication on phone, nothing. What are the odds that that love, starting from zero, will become very deep? So, love needs presence. You have to be present with each other. Like the intention has to be that I am available to you, and the other one has to be available to us. So, what do the sages tell us? The sages tell us that our beloved is always available to us. We are the ones who made ourselves unavailable to him. He is always available to us. We have made ourselves unavailable to him. So that has to change. Now, does every relationship, that one was saying, does every relationship have the same texture? It doesn't have the same texture. Each of us, I feel like that's what makes it fun for God, also, nice for God also, that every one of his children or beloveds will he will have a different relationship with, a unique way of being in love. So that is why the broad template, the broad strokes are provided in spirituality. The rest is always step by step in the light of the Atma, in the light of the Holy Spirit itself. So the job of the outer guru is just to create enough spiritual momentum in you. And by God's grace, uh, the attributes of what we find when we come to our Atma in a smallish way, we taste the same things in when we come to satsang as well. So, like I was sharing last time, it is to give us a taste of what fragrance to follow on the inside. Because on our insides, even if you keep this world as if it is outside, actually it isn't. But even if we keep this world as if it is happening on the outside, then on our insides there is so much going on constantly. So if you don't have the taste, you don't have the fragrance, you see, that we can latch on to and then just follow home in some way, then it seems very difficult. So the outer teacher, uh, without this fragrance, would just be sharing discourses or sharing words. It becomes true satsang when you get a sense of something happens in me when I meet my teacher. And that something is actually the fragrance of the Atma itself, which is provided as a form of grace, as a way, a cheat code in Maya to help us break the bonds of Maya. So, why is this being talked about? We said we have to love God, and the way to love God is to love the Spirit, is to love Atma. To find Atma is to follow the fragrance. Follow the fragrance till you come to a holy resting place. When you follow the fragrance within, what happens? You fall into a very holy place, which is not a spatial place, but you recognize it when you come to it. That is where the love meeting between Atma and you, your soul, Antakarna, whatever you may want to call it, is happening. How to get there? The teacher gives you the tools, outer tools, but he seeds you with the fragrance of that place. So you can follow it home. So asking, who am I gets you there. Saying, Ram Ram gets you there. Allah Allah gets you there. Whichever. uh, God will not resist or create a barrier to you falling in love with Him because of communication issues or like communication gap. No? That, oh, I don't know his language, he doesn't know my language. I'm calling out to him in the wrong way, my method is wrong, what I'm using to remember him is wrong. All of this doesn't get in the way. Something very beautiful yesterday I posted in the group from one of the authors. He said that they're not so much concerned about what you are saying. They, in the sense, the Atma, he is not so concerned about what you are saying, but he's taking a very deep look at your heart. Mhm. Taking a very deep look into your heart, and there he knows what you need. What you need. Do you need more humility? Do you need more patience? Do you need to be loved more? What is it that you need? And only he, not the outer teacher also, only he can get the exact nuance in that moment of what you need. So if you need more patience, it will seem like I need to do a lot more sadhana before I can come to his presence. And patience, the growing of patience comes usually with the growth in humility. So, what would a proud one do? A proud one will many times not accept the fact that actually I'm not coming to the depth of this holy place, which the teacher is saying. So, they will use the other implements in their control, in their seeming control, which is the most dangerous being imagination. तो नहीं हो रहा तो बना लेंगे. Like, you see, I have some power of creation also. Like, if it's not happening, let me use my creative faculties which God Himself has given to me to get into this make believe sort of spirituality. Yeah. Fraud yourself on. Fraud yourself on. No, no, of course, I have done it. In the sense that why would you cheat yourself? No, because I have done it when I started trading in stocks. I would write only the winning trades in my spreadsheet. It would be too hurtful to see the losing trades. So don't write it in the spreadsheet. It doesn't exist. Never happened. Forget it. That's incredible. So you don't forget. No, so because like Richard Rohr was saying that day, first we get humiliated on this path. You see? And we have to face that humiliation. What is the humiliation? We think we are very holy, we are very religious, we are very spiritual, we are very patient, we are very dedicated, all of these things. We start to look inside us. First, the mind attacks us with all viciousness, violence, everything possible. You see? So he called it facing the beast. So first, when we go into this wilderness, because it's an unknown, it seems like an abyss. So when we go into this wilderness, first we encounter the beast before we hear the voice of God. And encountering the beast is humiliating for us because we felt before that only good stuff are made up of only good stuff. When we start to notice our pride, we start to notice our selfishness, our wanting to be first, our wanting more and more, our thinking that we know better than God in terms of what we should have. Isn't it? That is suffering. You can't suffer without that. Suffering is a conflict between what we think should be versus what is. So first we encounter all of these challenges, and based on exactly the diagnosis of this patient, he provides the treatment so that the soul, the antakarna becomes, has all the right attributes to have a fruitful, loving relationship with God. And please don't confuse yourself and think that I am on the Jnana path, so none of this applies to me. I just want to know myself. What does that have to do with any of this? It's exactly the same. Exactly the same. There is no self-knowledge. There is no self-knowledge without truth, without love, and there is no love without truth. The most difficult faculty which gets in the way is the mind. So whether you read the Ramayana or you read the Bible, it's about pride. And pride comes from mind. Unless we have an idea, I know what is the biblical story. The tree of knowledge seems so attractive. Yeah. So, because it gives us the opportunity to know better. Ravan thought he knew better. Because of his spirituality, he thought he has become God, which is a misunderstanding of Advaita Vedanta. Very popular misunderstanding. So, the mind is the faculty which does not want to be offered up to God. So, what to do with it? Keep it empty, keep it open. Because it traps us how? Have you noticed how the mind traps you? It cannot trap you unless you go. Unless you go zoom, it doesn't trap. So just like this, empty, empty, fresh, fresh, you may find that you may say that there is no mind, or you may say that it is absorbed into the heart. So many orthodox sages talk about keeping the mind in the heart. Same thing. The Buddhists will say the no mind. Same thing. So like that. If that seems too difficult, then there's only one safe thought. uh, One safe thought, which is the name of God. The name of God is that which leads to remembrance of God. Whatever leads to remembrance of God for you is the name of God for you. That is why most spiritual practice, most sadhana, most spiritual path is about providing an antidote for this particular faculty to drop into the heart, or to seem for it to seem non-existent, not getting in our way. Getting a sense of what's that? A truly loving relationship is unselfish, isn't it? And the mind doesn't know unselfishness. It only knows me, me, me. That is why it cannot be brought along in our love for God. It can be offered to God, but it cannot participate in love because its idea of love is not love, it is wanting, it is selfish. So, this is the key. I want to have this love with God. Even like if you were to tell people on the street that it's possible for you to live in a deeply loving relationship with God and He will love you and you will love Him, they will say, yeah, good deal, I'll take it. But when it comes to this, letting go of our mind, most will run away. So, when the first we encounter the beast roars and we run. Like the project seems so difficult. Most of my children have told me at some point or the other, I'm not cut out of this, cut out for this. Why? Because the mind scares us into that. We're very scared of this possibility, and the mind puts us in a corner and says, this is too difficult. About itself only. The ghost saying that this ghost is too scary. So I can't deal with it. Yeah. That's why all the practices have been provided. Last week we went through so many in that conversation. So many things. If you ask yourself, can I stop being? Am I aware now? How do I love God? How do I meet the reality of God? So these questions are and statements like I am that, they call the Mahavakyas, or God loves me, or even just love, or even thank you. Because all of these are not possible to create gratitude, for example, not possible to create in the mind. So all of these, hello. So because all of these are not possible to replicate in the mind, these then serve as pointers for us to go beyond or to transcend the mind.
Father, the only question is, given the fact that got distracted by mind, he was created by God.
Yeah.
It's the whole play. So, why?
Why? For fun.
Not
That is the most popular explanation. The Leela is what? The fun of God. Chidavilasa is the play of consciousness. But if you like, if you don't like, For his fun, it seems too oppressive to be fun. At least not fun for me. So then we may say that it is to learn to love, it is to deepen or grow in love. There are all kinds of explanations. There's one explanation which is that God is all there is. So without creating this duality, it would be too boring for him or lonely for him. So, so he found a way within the oneness to create a love relationship so that it would not be lonely for him. But really, what I'm saying behind all of this is that this is too
Somebody
tiny.
said nothing ever happened.
Nothing ever happened. Yeah,
That's also very difficult. Yes.
exactly. Why? Why nothing? Whether you take Shankara's explanation of Maya, mhm, or any sort of reasoning for why this has happened, ultimately one day we have to face the fact that our intellect is too small to really fathom any answer. We cannot look into the mind of God and find a suitable explanation. And that's important maybe to keep us humble. Because if you started to know God's whys, why does God do this? Why is there suffering in the world? Why are innocent people, innocent children starving? All of these questions we can't answer. And it's very frustrating, of course, but it brings us to a humility of recognizing that, especially those of us who are spiritual, you see, because we've had a glimpse of God, a taste of God, we've met God's presence, so He's become undeniable. And yet, what is happening in the world sometimes seems so difficult to fathom. If you were like, why did I become an atheist? Because it didn't compute for me. It didn't make sense that if there is a God, then why is this happening in my life and in the lives of others? Why is all of this happening? So because it didn't make sense. But now we have to realize that the capacity for us, remember, maybe we spoke about this, but some of us did speak about this for some time in Satsang, that what is the bane of the human condition? The bane is that we can ask the big questions. Is it for the instrument that asks the big questions? Does it have the capacity to really understand anything? Or is it just a storehouse of concepts? So, till we learn to rest in intuitive insight, the answer to the why may not be apparent, but still inwardly we know that we just have to trust. Our heart tells us to trust, even though our mind tells us that what is happening, this doesn't make any sense, this is not right. So, provisionally, we can choose whichever explanation settles the beeping of our intellect. You can seem painful, no? But beeping of the intellect, no sense. It's just like when you have an unsatisfied intellect, it just poke you, ting, 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 like that. No? Till we learn not to be so poked by that intellect, we feed it some provisional answers in the hope that once the love becomes so deep, then we will start relying on that, the answers from the heart, rather than the answers that can make sense to the intellect. So, like a concept like the fifth, our mind doesn't like it, but somewhere we love it. Mind won't like it because what fifth? No, yes, some of you, maybe all of you don't know. So, we looked at the fifth corner in Buddhism. The first corner is true, the second corner is false. And most of Western philosophy is linear in that way, where things can either be yes or no, true or false. You see? In the East, there were more options. Something could be either true or false. No, I mean both true and false, or neither true nor false. The four corners. But when it came to questions like this, the Buddha would say the fifth. He would plead the fifth, literally. So, what is this fifth? The mind can't make sense of it, compute it, but somewhere in us we love it. Where is that somewhere? There, intuitively in our heart, when we know that life is not so linear, life is not dualistic in that way. But it's again humiliating for our ego because we can't stand the fact that there are the most important things we cannot know. What is the nature of love? What is reality? Is anything real? Who am I? Mind can't know. So it's very humiliating, very frustrating for the mind. So when we come to Atma Jnana, when we come to self-knowledge, we know everything. Uh, But can we squeeze that know everything into conceptual understanding? Not always. If you try and explain the reason why from I there came a I am, eh? Why is there something instead of nothing? And we try to explain that to a cow, eh? Then all of you see all of you laughing. Hmm? So this is disrespect towards cow. So- this is human pride, no? We are so like it's absurd that a cow could understand, but we feel like we have the capacity to understand everything. Huh? Exactly. So, so this is human pride also, that I must be able to understand God. You see? But remember that this is Achinta Aveda Aveda, Achinta Bheda Abheda. Huh? So even when we recognize our oneness with God, we still recognize our servitude, our lack of capacity, our lack of being able to express in concepts that which is the mind of God Himself. What makes us believe that we have the capacity to understand why there is I am and not just I am? When I put it like that, then we may feel like, no, no, we don't have the capacity to. But when I say, why is there creation, which is only a reflection of the I am itself, then that we feel like we must be able to understand.
I think it's a condition to believing that if by thinking I'm going to get to know some pattern or something, whatever. So that was my only means of knowing something.
Yeah, and it's very dangerous
Yeah.
because we feel like once we know it, there we have it.
You're in control of it.
No, in the sense that, like we were saying the other day, if I read 10 books on humility, I can speak a sermon on humility, then I might start believing that I'm very humble. But if my life was to be looked at, it has no sign of humility. It's very possible. So it's very dangerous where knowledge poses as reality, conceptual knowledge. Mm. So small k knowledge is very dangerous.
God doesn't leave us, Swami. You can fool yourself only for a short time.
Yeah.
But for
But remember, He has more patience than we do.
He waits for longer.
So God may be able to look at our 10 lifetime plan and say it's okay, there's time for them. But are we able to look at it like that? No. So just reeling back a bit and going back to what we were saying, that if you accept that the purpose of our existence is to be with God, and to be with God means to love God, to know God, all that is beautiful comes only from being with God. Once we accept that as the very purpose of our life, then our intention is to be spiritual. Because how can we be with God? We can be with spirit. And don't rush into it. I know that we want to say, I am spirit, I am that in which spirit is born. We'll say all of those things. There's no rush. But the love has to grow so much that we find no distance between ourselves and the beloved. Sometimes they say like that. No? In some love relationships, then we can't find any distance or difference.
The will become the same. Will has to become the same.
The will, very importantly, that our servitude deepens so much that soon we cannot find an independent will. Only God's will remain.
The biggest obstacle in Bhajan.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why to cultivate servitude, cultivate the intention to only live in God's will is very, very important. Because we don't realize it. But even in our spirituality, we get very attached to our will, and we can become very dualistic in everything. Because this picking better, that is the fruit of the tree of knowledge. I will know better.
It's from between once I'm real because when you just say that and you have the loving feeling also, but you're not living your kind of eats when you feel.
And that, in a way, is what we were talking about earlier, which is the difference between love and devotion. Uh, Difference between love and devotion is the idea of I may have a very loving relationship with my partner, but I don't want to sacrifice my will to her. Isn't it? So when the intention and the action is for servitude, to sacrifice my will, let thy will be done truly, then we start to deepen in our spirituality in this way. So it all comes together.
Father, related to this, no, this idea of surrender, Father.
Yeah.
So if some desire comes and I just offer it to God, is that the end of it? But it keeps coming back again and again. And do I have to keep offering it? But or is it once I offer it, my job is done, whether I indulge it or
Whether I indulge in it.
yeah, like I've surrendered. Like to take a safe example. Let's say I want ice cream,
Okay.
and now I say I don't trust in myself. I trust in you, God. Do what you will with it.
Well,
I do that one.
at your age, you're calling it a safe example. My HbA1c is very high, so it's a
Then this
safe
is a good
example. But
example. Then.
let's take that example. So if I have the urge to eat ice cream and my mind is rushing me into that relationship with ice cream, then you see, then can I just offer it to God? And after offering, if that same thing keeps coming back, should I keep offering it to God? Is that what you're asking? Or is
Yeah,
it
and
okay to offer it
it
once
is.
and If it comes back again, then I can indulge. Is that what the question is?
Like it's related to this, but my point is, when is it actual surrender?
Yes.
That's the thing I'm asking. At what point is it actual surrender?
Yes. When you don't care about what you want, then it is surrender.
So that desire has to fall away. Until the desire falls away, I have to keep surrendering.
Yes, yes.
It's tough.
Yes, I do. It's so disappointing. What? I wish I could give you an easier answer. Uh, Otherwise, it'd be very convenient for the mind. Na? Then it'd just be like, oh, ice cream, ice cream. Okay, I surrender to you, God. Then 2 minutes later, ice cream, ice cream. Okay, that part is done. I can have it. Yeah. So when surrender means that I don't want, like I don't want and I don't want. You see? Then that is
That
the
seems
innocent.
unattainable, Father. It's so difficult.
Yes.
I don't see how I can. That's too far beyond from where I am. So to start off, where I am, what to do?
So how is it right now?
Now I'm more desire.
And now,
Okay.
now. So that's the key. It's not unattainable because right now you're free
Hmm.
from desire. So every moment freshly uh, just available to love God. Then all this which seems so difficult over a period of time then seems much more practical.
I think last time you had said that the trick is to offer. You were saying something like that to
Yes.
me. And how
Yes.
does this become easier? It's the same as fighting the desire only. Offering doesn't become any easier because to truly offer, I have to get rid of it.
No, no, no. Okay, so let's look at this. Huh? So, what is the difference between fighting the mind versus offering it to God? That's a let's look at it in
Yeah.
that construct. So, if you were to fight, then you know that it is troublesome. It'll keep coming back. The more you resist, the more it persists. Now you've been told that the Lord of this universe has a relationship of love with you, which you can mold into whatever construct appeals to you the most. But He is kind and merciful towards you, and He is wanting to help you every step of the way. Huh? So, when something comes, it is not that you're being asked to sacrifice it or fight with it or do anything with it. It is to give it to make it his problem. He who is the Lord of the universe and loves you so deeply that wants to take care of you in every way. You see? So isn't that very different? Like let's make it uh, more worldly in that way. So suppose that you have an uncle who really dotes on you, you see, is really wanting to make you really happy, but doesn't want to spoil your health, doesn't want to spoil you, wants to keep you on the right track as well. You see, and has better judgment about things than you do. So then would it be painful to offer up everything to that uncle and let him decide? Or would it be oppressive?
It's a relief.
It's a relief. So exactly. So then God is that holy parent, holy uncle, you see, who we can safely offer everything to because then we don't have to grapple with it. We've offered it to the most loving and the most intelligent one, and we allow him to.
This is what I was talking about back then also about the ice cream example. Like if I tell my uncle, I want
Yeah.
ice cream, but I trust you, you decide. And then the ice cream again thought comes.
Yeah.
Once I've offered it to him, do I go again and get the ice cream? What?
Yes. Yes, my dear, because the uncle has not told you yet, have the ice cream.
Oh,
Isn't it?
I have
Following
to wait
God's
for that.
will.
Uh,
Yes, yes, yes. Is it? So we used to say in Satsang, I don't know, maybe before you came actually, that everything the mind offers, say, take it up with my father. Just take it up with my father. It's not my business. Take it up with my father, which means God. Take it up with God. So then we remove ourselves from the equation, and that is surrender.
thank you, sir.
Very good. Okay, good. Shall we just sit for some time? Enough food for contemplation? I have to keep reminding myself. It's also good to have one or two questions unanswered. But then you can take it to the Atma within. I have to stop myself from trying to answer so much. Anyone who's taken good notes to do? Want to read them out? Because I didn't write anything while I was speaking.
Just wrote the last thing, was just reading.
Yeah. Read.
You said that. Um, mhm.
Why didn't you read everything that you have from today? Oh, that's a lot of.
So
That's good.
I just read what I
No.
Right. You read what is the last instruction. So you said that, what is it? When we actually surrender, it's like when you don't care about what you want, then you broke it down to saying that. Um, so, so when we fight the mind, it's either surrender or fight. So I fight the mind, it's coming back. And now you have been told that God is kind and merciful to you. So when something comes, just let's give it to him. And because you know he dotes on you and wants you to be very happy, then is it really painful to offer him everything? You know, and so
And he has better judgment than us
yeah,
anyway.
so he's like much wiser. And um, and so we don't have to grapple with that. And that wise and
He is the one who is made wisdom,
yeah,
and we can offer our life to him.
yeah.
And what greater privilege can there be? The one who has made beauty, love, truth, wisdom, kindness, compassion, mercy.
Actually, before you said that I didn't that then I don't taste the falsity of my own way and the wisdom of God. I mean, when I taste the then I see the wisdom of God and I start seeing the falsity of even having a like it's such a useless thing actually. But,
Why would I want my own will?
yeah, that's why you said
Once we are reassured by a credible one that we can offer our life to this one, to him.
God begins with that faith in because you do what the master tells you and then you taste the fruit of what he's actually saying.
See, actually, if you ask most people in the world that somebody will take care of your life and they are much wiser than you, Many will still say, no, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
No, all of us.
said that you're
Like good or bad, at least I would have done it. Yeah. So that is when we come face to face with our pride. Are we willing to hand over our life completely to God? Yeah. Look at that laugh. Some parts of it where we are attached, it's not so easy. Like when my son was in the hospital, I was just like, please let it go this way, the way I want. Till I came to, after being squeezed and squeezed, came to some point of acceptance. Mhm.
it's been troubling
Yeah.
of wanting God the most, and yet sometimes being withdrawn. Can that coexist ever? It's not possible.
Wanting God the most,
As in, like,
how do you know? How would we know that someone wants God the most?
say, for example, every time there's a possibility uh, that this is not the highest desire, it's something else, then it always ends up being in a way like time and again that it ends even this, like you wouldn't choose work over this, you wouldn't choose family over this, you would
What would you choose?
choose loving God.
Ice cream? No, over this, over God, basically. Yeah. So in that moment, like it may sound absurd what I'm saying, but many times we may pick ice cream over God. So to see for ourselves what is that ice cream in our case, and to really offer it up to God. You say, if I am to have this, let it be only from your will.
So basically, both can't coexist as well.
Like I feel like both in a way, like what is the how do we judge the lukewarmness of someone versus the wanting of someone?
Yeah.
So if the instrument of judgment is the same, then we can't be both.
Are you saying Siddhant way?
Exactly. Are we dying to meet God and to be with Him? Literally willing to die to be with God. So then the heat has to be turned up more and more. How? By just being with Him more and more. Because this love is like that. The more time we spend together, the more that love will deepen.
That's your first.
Yeah. The more that love will deepen. Is it? It's not one of those worldly relationships where you may get bored of each other after some few weeks or months. Mhm. Here, the beauty of loving God is that we can only deepen Him. Uh, it's not that it's not frustrating, but the frustration is because we want to meet Him more, not meet Him less. What happens once we fall in love with God? Are they frustrating times? Yes, because you want the sweetness to grow. You want to have that same experience you had last week, and you felt so held. Hmm? And if that doesn't happen, then that can be frustrating. We want the sweetness of the relationship. Mhm. So we want more and more of Him. Not
Isn't the frustration because we have pride, like, because I want something else from God.
exactly all suffering, all frustration is because of the gap between what I think should have be happening to me versus what is. Okay.
That's
But the pretext of the frustration in spirituality for most of us is that why can't I be with him more easily? Why can't he love me back? with that sweetness which I've heard about or have experienced. We want something else in that experience. You see, our frustration is usually not that I want a divorce. In the sense that why do we get frustrated with our sadhana? Because it's not giving, it's seeming very difficult. It's not giving me the juice that experiential juice that I want. You see? It's not all of these reasons, what we call aridity or dryness in sadhana. It can be frustrating. But that is because we want more of him, not less of him. So relationship with God doesn't have the thing where you say, no, we've had a good holiday together, now let's have some space. It doesn't have that. Of course, mind will always say anything, but I'm saying in our heart, we never feel like, now,
When you're there, you don't want to leave.
I've had, well, the mind will push that a lot. So the mind will say, okay, now you had 3 hours of focused prayer. Now take a break for a day. But not, you don't actually feel that. The more you pray, the more you want to dive in.
So you said only God has the exact nuance of what you need.
Yeah.
So he knows that if patience is needed, then he'll, humility, then he'll give you that experience where you.
And knowing this, we can trust.
Exactly.
That
We don't
if our
have to-
sadhana is very distracted today, he's helping us grow in our patience, in our spiritual muscles also. So beautiful that we can look at every distraction as another fresh opportunity to love him or to return to emptiness. Yeah, so nice. That every distraction then is a fresh opportunity for us to love him, to return to him, and to return to be empty. Every time we practice being empty, we build the muscle of emptiness. Isn't it? So it's a great opportunity for us it's a spiritual gymnasium, distraction.
Father, like so say there's a lot of distraction happening.
Yeah.
And so let's say we take the name of God, what are we trying to come back to him? What is that, Father, that
The first, most important thing is, do we want to be distracted or do we want to be with God? Yeah. So many times what happens is we keep waiting, like I do this, that's why I'm able to report on this. If I prayed enough, it's like I'm just waiting for some distraction to be distracting enough. So I can say, chalo band karo, let's go back to, you know. So, but if our intention is to just immerse ourselves in God, in that love of God, then it's easier to return using whatever tools we have. Yeah.
In the question
Yeah.
for this person. Say everything in the distraction is feeling real. Like like it just like you feel like that, especially your you are that like that. And something in you is what taking the name of God. So what is that, Father? Like because the Maya is feeling so real, yet I want to come back to God. You see, I don't know how to ask this question. I don't know.
It's good. No? It's like this.
So what
You're
is
talking
that?
about the spiritual struggle.
No. What
Yeah.
is knows that
Knows
I
that.
must come back to God. Like,
Yeah, what? That your heart knows. Your heart knows.
Even though the Maya is feeling like that's where I am, that's my reality.
Of course.
Even though it's fully feeling real, like it's not.
Fully, I don't.
Yeah, it's feeling very real,
When we are fully caught up, it's very hard to hear the heart. But if it's even there's a sliver of openness, okay, then the light can shine through that. So it's very great that even when Maya seems so strong, then if you are able to, beautiful, beautiful. It's your heart. Whatever brings you to God is auspicious.
Yeah, it's auspicious. Just trying to see what.
The call of your heart. Suppose that just I'm pushing the metaphor too much now, but let's see if it can take some more strain. So you had this arranged marriage. You've decided that it's good for you. No? But is your ex-boyfriend going to be happy about that?
No.
He'll keep calling, na? Come, come, how is it going for you? I told you it won't be fun. Come back to me. That's the nature of the mind. That is Maya. That's why we have to renew our commitment again and again. My life only belongs to God. My life only belongs to God.
Every time I choose to not go with the distraction, I'm following the heart's call.
You're taking,
No matter what the mind is doing and what it is saying, even about the sun. Like for me, that is the biggest trick it uses. Whether it is with love, I come back, or what I'm coming back is my love for God.
exactly. And in that, you made a dent on Maya.
Every time I come back,
Of course.
no matter how much is done.
Absolutely. That's why we were saying that welcome every distraction as a new opportunity to love God. You know, don't get necessarily into an antagonistic relationship with distraction. Oh, another chance, thank you. Yeah, you notice you're thinking about what to cook for dinner or what's the plan for tomorrow or something like that. When you're meant to be praying, contemplating, and then you notice that you went off track, and you say, another opportunity to love my beloved.
Father,
Yes, yeah.
sorry. You said a bit earlier that surrender is when you say, God, let me have this only on when you want, if you want to. I think you said that.
Which is the one? I'll have the ice cream only when you want me to.
Kind of, yeah. And
Yes.
it, I just feel there is, oh, what's this? Change language to, I don't know. I just feel because someone is speaking and I think it's rather, but I feel also when there is desire for dinner or for furniture or for this worldly stuff, you go away from God. So my tendency was to offer, like when I see my mind is ruminating about something else, to come back to heart. So it's not like because he let me have anything, how much ice cream I want. It's just I get fat.
Yes, yes, yes. So, when desire is what? Desire is maybe a physical sensation mixed with the idea that I want.
It's more the idea, not the physical sensation. I feel it's just when desire arises for anything.
It's good.
Uh,
It's easier if it's just an idea and it is not accompanied by the physical sensation, then it is easier to surrender it. Because when two aspects of our inside start working in this collaborative way, then it seems more difficult to surrender it to God. So if it is just in the mind, then easier to offer it to God and say, this is what I want, but I don't want to want anything. Let thy will be done.
I, I want you more than anything, in
That's
a
good
way.
enough. To want God more than anything is good enough.
Thank you.
It's very good.
I don't want to take the very good personally, so I just offer this up. This is such a trickster, Father. just,
Yes.
you
Actually,
can say very good to people who
maybe
have
I should clarify
no ego, okay?
that mostly when very good comes here from here, if the words are very good, but it's not an evaluation, it's more of a blessing. I just feel like a blessing goes out when I say very good. So it's not.
Thank you. I accept that. I receive it. Mm. And I'm also very happy you clarified because I was always afraid you would say it and I take it in my head. Thank you.
It just comes like that. Many times you haven't said anything also, but I keep saying very good. Yeah. I have to learn to shut up a bit earlier. Yeah, I can see that. Something is up. I'm fine.
First time I got it.
Isn't it so nice? So many opportunities for love. And the mind's way is to make us what? Separate. So literally returning to God is an act of love even for our brothers and sisters in the world. Like the mind is not hatching any loving plots, isn't it? So to let it go is an act of love even for the world, not just for God. The mind is oppressive to our life and to the lives of those around us. So when we return to God, then we are loving not just God, but also those around us. It's an act of love for everyone. Uh, It's like mouthwash. An act of love for those around us also.
Other than just I won't stay with that. Like research that every time I turn to God, following the heart's call.
Yeah.
I don't know, something.
The mind has no interest in not bringing you back to God. It'll make you troubled about your spirituality. It'll become a make-believe teacher in your head to oppress you. But it has no interest in bringing you to break the cycle of thoughts and to let you help you return to God is not its intention at all. Yeah.
Yes, that was great. Rather than
Yeah.
being so strong. Well, supposing I went away from satsang, anything can happen in life I felt, and I can't take it for granted. And I felt like even if I went to, I told her that my heart can never forget you now. Like, my heart can't get you. It's too late. And I have all the capacity to get stuck in Maya. And I may go really far, but my heart can't forget me. That's how I was really conversation. Something really.
Very beautiful. What greater clue can there be than the fact that the Atma loves to pray? Does it need to pray? Doesn't need in the way we think we need to pray. It is just the holiest act of love. Yeah.
Keep saying and it is also said that God loves to dwell in our hearts. Can you speak on that further? Because it's connected to this.
Yeah. It's so beautiful. I find it beautiful. I don't know how much I can elaborate, but firstly, it's so beautiful that it's not like it's a compulsion of design. No, firstly, that I've designed it, so it's my responsibility. I have to stay with them, you know. So it's a beautiful thing that independent of how we are living our life, he lives in our heart. You see? So the only question is how we are living our life in a selfish way or a loving way determines how much of him we can taste in our heart, but doesn't affect his actual existence in our heart. Huh? I'm saying that I find it so beautiful that one could be that the sages told us that because he has designed us and designed this world, he is compelled now out of responsibility to live in our heart. But that's not what the sages have told us. The sages have told us that he delights to live there. He delights to live in the innermost chamber of our soul. And for him to delight in my soul is just the best news for me. That he takes delight in living inside my soul. And he's given me his presence as Atma living there. It's not force, it is love. It's not forced, it is love. Because only in love would the Lord of the universe stay somewhere. It's not that he can't afford the rent in any part of the universe, isn't it? And yet he chooses to live within my soul fully. Okay? So we must not look at the Atma as a limited presence. His unlimited presence lives inside me, making me thus unlimited in reality. Yeah? So he delights to live there, and he is humbly and patiently waiting for us to turn. Mhm. How humble if I was in his place. Any distraction away from me, I'd be like, oh, I'll fix you. Come. You know? Like, okay. True love, only he understands. So true love is patient. You see? So then his curriculum is full of mercy, although we may feel like we are suffering so much. You see? But if we refuse to recognize our heart's calling, you see? If we keep taking the world's phone call and cutting the phone call from our heart, you see, then something has to shake us out of that complacency. And it doesn't slap first. He sends us 1,000 nudges for wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Yeah? See,
Said that it doesn't matter what we do. He chooses to still live there. That
we are his beloved children. No matter what we do, we are his beloved children. Constantly held by him. So whether we say beloved children or the beloveds, whichever construct, because these constructs are just human and very limited, but we have to apply them because that's all we can apply. We never abandon them. He chooses to live there literally.
Father, so
It's okay.
this is, it just, it's been coming like this, that he actually brought you in my life to just
He brought you into my life because the teacher-disciple relationship is, a miniature replica of the Atma soul relationship.
he chose to make me wake up. And from then on, everything that has come in my life is because he wants me to wake up. No matter what it is. Maybe even from before, but saying the beginning of
I
this
would
was-
say actually that everything in everyone's life but still have the capacity to turn more towards Maya or towards God. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. Just to hear the fact that he lives in my heart. Most of our 7 billion brothers and sisters may not even hear this. Or if they hear it, they'll hear it in some metaphorical or romantic way.
But I keep saying, that just to really hear, the God is living inside your own. It keeps like being in awe of just that one statement, you have to repeat it 100 times.
And these
Yeah.
awe-inspiring statements are beautiful for contemplation. You see? So we might somewhere also hold them sacred in our heart. Yeah? Just because they have so much spiritual juice. Like God prays in my heart. That one line has so much spiritual juice. I feel like I can contemplate it for years. Yeah? And it might be different because the texture is different for everyone. It may be different for all of you. Something else you hear, is it? But he provides. I don't feel like we ever can say today I didn't contemplate because I didn't find anything spiritually deep. I have a document which I keep pasting into for things which I find help to keep me in my heart. So when I start reading that document, the first one always gets me because it's that poem about Ramji and the sweet wound in the heart. What is that one? Do you remember? That it made a sweet wound in my heart and something like this. Is the,
post of contemplation.
one of the first posts, exactly. There's great value in these spiritual truths because we can't fully understand them, but they pull us in.
You say God lives in my heart, it delights. But right now I can just meet it in there, but I'm not able to meet it. You see what I'm saying? But when you say Atma loves to be somewhere, it is, I'm meeting it somewhere. But that I'm still not deeply like it's
But
not
enjoy the half met or the unmet ones also, because if they attract you, because there's enough, we don't have to force it, because there's enough pointing available from all the sages. So whatever gives us that sweetness.
Although the distractions in the prayer also keeps us humble and small in the relationship.
Exactly.
She or he is always advising that there is a good prayer, there is a
I've become a good prayerer.
same.
Like, मैं तो आंख बंद करता हूँ मेरी समाधि लग जाती है. You can get into those traps. The minute you say, "Oh, I'm so accomplished in my prayer now," I just close my eyes and I go into samadhi. Next day, you won't be able to pray for 10 seconds. Yes. So that's why I'm saying that he is the most intelligent teacher also, the Atman. And everything we can possibly imagine, the best of everything. Yeah. So I hope that, and I've always hoped this right from the first day of sharing satsang, that it's not being heard metaphorically or poetically, but it takes some getting used to, because the fact of our spiritual reality is so different from what poses as factual in the world. You accept it as a fact that God lives in your heart, or yeah. Yes. Once that is accepted, then that homing signal becomes really strong. I know, sorry, today also I'm just rambling away. But
And what did you do?
huh?
Once it is accepted, then
The homing signal in our heart, no? Like the homing signal, like you just, what is a better way of saying that?
Falling.
Like the birds, when they have to return to their nests, they know where their homes start.
Yeah, right. Right. Like the birds, when they have to return to their nest, they will know, like they could hear their mother's voice from kilometers away, like that. Once we are open to this being a reality of our life, then we start opening ourselves up to the holy frequencies. Yeah. They're not physics wala frequencies.
Nice because you said that frustration is really that I don't have enough love. It's not that I don't. Such a good frustration that I don't have enough love. Actually, most of the time, even in life, we're crying that we don't have enough love. From everyone, that we are truly frustrated. It's not because I hate you, but it's because I don't perceive enough love. I don't have enough love from you. Isn't that something that that's true.
Father, can I share one suggestion?
Yes, yes.
I feel satsangs are needed, Father. So maybe one satsang per week, and the other two satsangs we contemplate what you said in the first one. Something like that. In our own free time, we can watch and contemplate or something like that.
Thank
Just a
you.
suggestion.
Thank you. I was also wondering something because my habitual rambling has started again. So I need to see what to do.
We give clarity that
Best way to make God laugh. Tell him your plan. We will only be contemplative.
what you can't eat in your heart. Be okay, then learn to enjoy that. That enjoyment only can you like juice it.
Yeah, because when things just show up here, I don't know what it is. Then, as I rest with it in my heart, then it reveals itself more and more.
And that's the way of thing that we're learning in contemplation. I didn't know this way before.
And it's a little scary also, in the sense that, like, when I first showed up in satsang and I said, the Atma loves to pray. Like, do I really know this? You know? I felt like, yeah, I feel like it is praying right there. Then but I haven't heard any of the sages say that. And am I just fooling myself? What's happening? Am I deluded? No? But it was so clear. So I kept saying it in satsang, the Atma, your Atma loves to pray. Your Atma loves to pray. And then recently I found some of the sages have also said, God prays in our heart. So I just feel so happy that he's he's sharing so much insight in my heart. And many times the mind becomes fearful about it, saying, are you just speaking a lot of rubbish now?
Master,
You know?
um,
Yeah.
I just want to like just pray and that please that you should please stay with me in my heart, because I feel like I don't know, maybe it's like I don't know, but this I don't want to like fall into like any trap, like any kind of spiritual trap,
Yes.
because I don't want to like take because the reality of myself and God is becoming impersonal. I don't want it to. I'll try so much like I just want to like say this to you in my heart, but I just feel like to communicate it to you in this way is also very important. Um, I know that the intention in my heart, as much as I'm aware of it, is to somehow get rid of me completely and to just stay in God. And although what God is becoming more and more like indefinable for me somehow, and even what I am, I cannot really say. It's like I don't know as well what I am. It's becoming like indefinable, but I don't want like a kind of something like a concept to like absorb any concept that would lead to like any kind of spiritual arrogance or like spiritual pride or something that I may not be aware of. And because I'm seeing like the subtleties, even I don't know. I just felt to just speak to you and to just ask for your blessings because I feel like without all that I know is all there with me and through the Holy Spirit, this I know that without the Holy Spirit, I'm always like susceptible to like traps and or spiritual traps or even the sense of it's like everything can become a trap. Even what
Yes.
you say in satsang can be held onto and something can make plant something on that is so very it's so deeply subtle and but I know that by trusting your words and just staying as much as I can as I'm able to with whatever human effort I have. And I also just want to tell you something as well that has been happening because I'll try to say it with words is that because the sense of just being seems to be like the experience in the waking state, it sometimes feel like when I'm turning towards God. It's more like turning towards like that which is the source of being, but it's like a very intuitive thing. And so when you and because this like what happened to me like the first time I heard you speak where you said it's only about God, like that very like choppy sort of expression, like um where you it was like anything that like anywhere that I want to stand, you were just getting it. That anywhere, like anything I want to stand, you were just getting. And because I knew in my heart that this is from that truth. And so I was just being thrown into like emptiness, thrown into like the sense of not knowing. And so because of that, even when I have a sense of being or that I am somehow, because I still have a sense that there is something. I don't know if this is like a concept, but there's always something that just continues to throw. Uh, like because of somehow that's just what I absorb from you to just as much as possible to just show that. And so even sometimes like when I feel like the love for God and then I speak to God in like emptiness, and it's a very like it's like a kind of current, but it's I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like a sort of movement that's happening in the realm of being. But the sense of loving, and it's almost as though like I don't want it to be like my mind is using that for the me to come in, and maybe that's why I had to like watch like the video you're speaking about, like the difference between me and the sense I am, which is like the most innocent. It's like I'm a child, like a kind of baby that I don't know anything when I'm in that somehow. And so that was where like, but I still know that this me is still, it always has a way of inventing itself somehow. Like no matter how it's uprooted, it will still come in a different form. And because you've made it very clear in my heart that as long as there is any sort of loyalty and to the me, like the reality of God, the light of God will not be as pure and true. And I also have to confess that just by in staying there, it's like something reveals more and more like that it's not good to hold on to like the me, even the spiritual me, because it gets in the way of the universality of God, the purity and the innocence and just truth and just like a true way of being. And so I don't know.
Yeah.
It just came
Thank
like
you.
this to say.
This is very, very important. Very important. So I'm moving this computer closer to me. I don't know why I'm doing that, but this is very subtle and very important. And I'm sorry if I seem like I have created some confusion for you, but let me help to clarify. So, that which we call the Atma or the Holy Spirit is this very same sense of God's presence, sense of being, sense of I amness. So, never have I intended to say that we must jump over this and go straight into something even higher than that. In fact, last time or the time before that, I was uh, sharing some advice to avoid that tendency because uh, that's very dangerous in the sense that how do we go higher than the sense of being? It is through the borrowed vision of the spirit itself. It's almost like the spirit opens its eyes to this pure witnessing, pure awareness, and it's holding our hand, so we have an insight into that. We don't know how that insight happens, how it comes. It is granted to us through the holy vision of the Atma itself, of the spirit itself, of the sense I am itself. So it is actually not possible for us to leave the being and go into the higher, because all that is higher than that is brought to us, is provided by this spirit itself. So it is the safest place for us to be, it is the holiest place for us to be, is to sit in the discipleship of this spirit, in the discipleship of the sense I am. Because there it is He who reveals everything about Himself to us. We can't actually take another step inward. And why I said it's very important to talk about this is that if we feel like we can go to an emptiness, empty of the sense of being, without holding on to the sense of being in our heart, then very possible that we're getting fooled by the mind and its idea of a dark, empty place. Because the emptiness, which is Nirguna Brahman, is not a dark, empty place. Because it is without the attributes of dark and what we consider to be a spatial emptiness also. So it is completely unimaginable, unfathomable to every other faculty. It is only the Atma itself which, through its holy vision of its own source, revealing itself within ourselves, within our soul, in a process which is undescribable. It is the holy insight which we get as a disciple of this I amness itself. So all we can do is humbly and patiently wait in the presence. And if we are inquiring, then we say, who is aware even of this presence, as a way to invoke the blessing of holy insight. So we may ask ourselves, who is aware of this holy presence? 10,000 times, but if it is not the will of the Atma itself, the holy presence itself, to reveal its source to us, we can never say that we came to the true insight. So we may say that we must not skip over the sense of beingness. You see, but actually, it is not possible to skip over the sense of beingness. When we think we are skipping over the sense of beingness, we are most likely going into some trick, into some trap. So allow the Atma itself, the Spirit itself, to show us that which is unimaginable, unfathomable, neither dark nor light, neither empty nor full. The true nature of I itself. So, my child and all of you, all the highest we can do is to remain lovingly in the presence of the Atma itself. There's nowhere to go after that. There's no chopping possible after that. There's no neti neti possible after that. We may ask who is aware even of this presence. but we cannot skip over presence. Presence itself will have to reveal that answer to us if that is his will. So the altar in our heart, the temple in our heart is to this Atma, is to the spirit. And within that altar, within the temple, as we sit in his presence, he reveals the highest knowledge to us, not through any faculty that we have, but only through his power. So I hope that clarified a bit and took away the confusion about this.
I also felt yes, Master. Thank you. I also felt it's because also you're like when I always just hear you inside, where like the sense of the quality, like if there's anything that has like any sense of quality, just leave it. And sometimes even like very holy qualities.
Yes,
Although there are sometimes where it's like I don't know how I can explain this where it's like I'm not there in the same way. It's like something just throws me out and but it's just like a seeing, but it's like that's the only thing I can confirm that they just so but when I'm like let's say contemplating for example like something that Saint Teresa of Avila said or Ma Elizabeth said or you just like you feel like the holy like quality of it and like and it has like a kind of warm like I don't like you actually feel it and so when I'm like sometimes you just automatically close your eyes, it's like it's just like an automatic thing.
yes,
And there's like a kind of something's happening inside. You call
yes,
it like a surgery, something is happening.
yes,
And then maybe it's like some kind of thing just this is just like a quality, it's perceived or something like that. And so I can hear the voice sometimes and this and or I offer it to God and I say, Lord, this thing is here. Please help me. It just happens like inside that. And so like there's a prayer happening inside. Like if I notice, it's like and also maybe like the impressions. It's like there's some impressions like something absorbs it, but you don't know when or where you absorbed it. Even it can even be spiritual impressions as well. And so, but I'm grateful because I also have the feeling that he knows, like that knows.
yes, yes, fully.
Yeah, knows. And so it's very, very subtle in terms of not it's very, very subtle. Because something can go either way or go the other way so strongly. Um, in terms of saying that this thing shouldn't be happening if this is holy or something like that.
I see what you mean. So that is the trick about how he has designed the Atma, his spirit. How has he designed his Atma? Because we cannot conclusively say that it is Saguna, therefore with quality, and we cannot conclusively say that it is Nirguna, that is without quality. What a beautiful design. Because if it became a quality, then we could say Neti Neti, not this, and push it aside. Uh, And if it is completely qualityless, then we would be completely lost. Because without coming to him, we are so caught up in quality that if it was completely qualityless like Nirguna Brahman, then we would not have the guidance of the spirit. So knowing us fully well, he has designed his spirit to be in this way that I cannot grasp on it as if it has some quality, nor is it completely ungraspable. You see? And therefore it remains such a mystery. And this mystery is so full of love and wonder. You see? Now, in terms of what to do with holy qualities, I would say that we can follow them to their source. We can follow them to their source. Because when we taste love, we must not come into opposition with that love. You see, because it's an outpouring of the spirit itself. It is like the fragrance we were talking about, that the cheese has a smell which Jerry Mouse can then follow to come to the cheese. Otherwise, it seems very difficult. You see, but let's see if we can simplify a bit. Suppose that you were walking on a street next to your house, and there you saw a man who you saw from behind, and you felt like he has hair like Ananta has hair. So something comes and says, "Hey, is this father? Is this Ananta?" And you may say, "No, no, no, it's not possible because he's in India." But what if he came? You see, so something will make you want to. Hopefully, if you love me, I'm sure that you will want to follow that body and see whether it's really Ananta. In the same way, when within yourself you get a fragrance which reminds you of satsang, which reminds you of your teacher, then you can follow it to its source. You see? Because that brings you to that holy place, which we are talking about in the discipleship of the Atma within, of the Holy Spirit, where all knowledge is received only there, and all love, all beauty, all that is good is only there. Otherwise, it can be a bit like the mind also tricking us, no? Saying that, okay, now in the neti neti, I have to leave all qualities. So first, let me leave the neti neti because that has quality of neti neti. You know what I mean? It's like Guruji talks about the shooting the sheepdog. So we have to just be a little nuanced in our heart about this and follow the guidance from the heart. It'll keep you safe also, and it'll keep guiding you in the right way.
Yeah, but, and there are times when, by God's grace, I see it spontaneously happens like that, where you actually feel like you're being guided in the inquiry and you're being guided in like the prayer. It's like, be like you're speaking about the quality, non-quality. So there's a quality of the sense of, it's like duality and non-duality at the same time. It's
Yeah,
like there's a quality that I'm praying, but at the same time, there's a quality that this prayer itself is being guided by something higher. And
exactly. Exactly.
I just say because the boundaries of maybe my concepts are being, everything is like going away, including like the sense of myself is going away, eroding. And so maybe
Yeah,
something is like, oh, what's going on? I need to
yeah,
have some sense of like what's
yeah.
happening.
What you can safely hold on to is if it feels scary that you're being chipped away in this way, safely the chipping will continue. Just hold on to your love for God in your heart. Everything else will be taken care of. It's a beautiful anchor that He has provided for us. Otherwise, it can seem this whole spiritual search can seem like a one long dark night of the soul or something like that, without that presence of that love and the reassurance and comfort from that love. Remember what Jesus said in the Bible? He said, I will send you a comforter. Yeah? So don't look at his comfort as a quality. You don't have to um, put that aside. You can allow that love to percolate every cell of your being, and that holiness will deepen your insight. It will not take away anything from it.